You see it?
Okay. Yeah, it's saying it now.
All right. Okay, peace, peace, peace. Good afternoon. What is up? I have Melvin Todd here with me today. I do not want to call this an interview, but I want to call it a conversation.
A nice little combo.
Loveless Melvin, creator
Hello.
of Loveless Society. What's going on? How are you today?
I'm cool. Just for the record, too, y'all might see my face going in and out. Like, I got a new camera. I got this just for this interview. I
Is
ain't
that
had
the
no time.
disclaimer?
I ain't had no time to play with the settings and stuff like that. So, just bear with it because they won't let me. They won't let me fix it in the app. You know what I'm saying?
But you
So,
look real, you look really clear. Now,
okay.
when you
Well,
put
look.
your hand up, it tries to focus on your hand.
Got you. Look, I'm gonna keep my hands out of it. Then. That's
So,
crazy too
so
because I like talking with my hands. I'm gonna try to keep it
me
simple.
too. Me too. But I don't know if mine is going in and out. But
Yeah.
it is what it is. Just listen, 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 listen. Because we're gonna drop some jewels in here. All right. So today, this is what I want to converse with you about. So I guess I would call myself creative because I make soap and stuff. I'm definitely not on the spectrum or the level as Melvin Todd, but I notice some things in relationships or trying to get to know someone or bringing someone into your world where you're trying to create something for the world, if you get what I'm saying.
Of course.
So we're going to talk about creatives in relationships.
Okay.
Before we do that, could you just tell the viewers, how did Loveless Society come about? How did you like what were you drawing from a child? How did you become this great creative?
Well, I mean, it's funny that you like lead it in with like relationships. It technically started because I like got out of a relationship like 10 years ago,
Really?
a little over 10 years ago. It was 2010, I think. So it's been a minute actually, and it's funny because I mean, that's what like sparked it, and I be telling people like, like how it started, but it's weird because like I feel like it's grown so much past that it's I don't like even saying like that's what it's from, but I got to be honest. You know
Right.
what I mean? Like I was just kind of like down, and I drew a little sad cupid because that's how I was feeling. You know what I
Oh,
mean?
okay. Okay.
That's how I
So
was
that's how
feeling.
Cupid came about.
Yeah, I was down about the relationship. I felt like it had legs, but ultimately that's up to two people, and I was on the end that wasn't. What I'm saying? That wasn't like, hey, I don't think it got legs no more. But but shout out to her. Me and her cool. We patched that up a long time ago. She's a good friend. Whenever we talk, it ain't like we talk often, but at the same time, like, I drew that sad cupid and then I posted it on like Twitter. At the time, Twitter
Mhm.
was like popping, not Instagram. And people really liked the
Right.
drawing. And I was a tattoo artist already. I don't think I had met you yet, but
Mm-mm.
people were attracted to just how the cherub looked. And they wanted me to tattoo him on them. And I was just like, ooh, I don't want to tattoo my sad story on you. You know what I'm saying? So I said, like, maybe I can make it. Tell me about yourself, what you got going on, and I'll like model it after that. And so I did a few of those, and Loveless Society was born. Everybody saw these custom cherubs with all these little tattoos that clearly had a story behind them, and
Right.
yeah, people just started being drawn to me, and that's where it came from. That's how I met you. Such a wonderful
Yeah, because
person.
look, I had a story too, y'all. So I think I'm like maybe like the first maybe 50 that
For sure,
has
for sure, for
had,
sure.
and my son, where we are, one of my sons, we are the first mother and
Oh yeah,
son.
yep, yep.
And my son actually has me when I had locks. And I have a pair of Timberlands on because I'm from New York, and I have like the little tattoos. Um I have one, if people can see, that is my mom right here, and
Yeah.
my actual logo for Lena Love Lather is actually a tattoo that Melvin did on my mother
Right.
once my mother was deceased. He has tattooed the family. He hasn't got to my daughter yet. She's
Yeah, the last
19.
one. The
Yeah,
last
she's the
one.
last one. But my sons have quite a few tattoos from him. I do. Jazz is ready.
Right.
It's a story, and I'm not gonna lie. I get a little jealous. I'm gonna tell a little quick story. So
I'm
one of my
ready for
sons
this.
took it right.
You're such a
Took his
storyteller, you know, like
right.
I'm
You know
always
I got a
excited for
story all the time. So one of my sons took his girlfriend there, and I was like jealous. I was like, yo, that's like family time. Like I called Melvin. I'm like, so I hear that you
Oh man, you
I
did.
wasn't even thinking about the money aspect of it, y'all. I'm just
Right.
like, so I hear you tattoo so and so. But yeah,
Oh,
it
man.
has been since 2000, maybe.
Yeah, it's been a while. It's been a while. Yeah.
Yes. 2000,
Right.
2000. All right. So we have the beginnings. Oh, okay. Wait. So you say it started with when you got out of a relationship.
Right.
So now that I'm gonna call this loveless empire.
Right.
Now that you have this, she's fully aware that she's the reason why it started.
I almost don't want to say she's the reason. Me being sad and trying to figure out my emotions was the reason. She was like a
All
catalyst.
right, but what if you was happy? Just say if y'all didn't break up.
Why you gonna do me like this right now? Nah, that was good. You know, I like that. No, if I didn't break up, let me tell you what. I feel like, we broke up, and I feel like for her, there were things that she wasn't happy with, and if she would have just strung it along, I feel like
Right,
that was one of the big things. We were young, like we were really
right.
young, and so in my head, I'm like, oh, like around like what age 20? I think she was like 22. I was like 23. We were like really young, and so
Young.
statistically, if she already kind of had rumblings that he might not be the one, or I'm settling, or whatever the reasons were, I
Okay.
haven't found myself. Statistically, we would have probably got a divorce anyway. So maybe I would have just came up with it later. Who knows? But yeah, I will say that if I didn't go through it at that particular period, I probably wouldn't have came up with it. But that's why sometimes like you'll go through a hard thing, and go back and focus, man. You'll go through
Yeah,
a
because
hard
you had
thing.
put your hand up, but
Yeah,
we got you. Don't worry
yeah.
about it.
You'll go through a hard thing, and you'll be like, oh, God, why am I going through this? Like, it don't make no sense, blah, blah, blah. And it's like the hardest thing, but then you'll look back and you'll see the reason why you did it. And I needed to have a good dose of heartbreak to really tap into my full potential as an artist, I think. Like, at that point,
Okay.
I was doing a lot of drawing for, like, especially being a tattoo artist. We're glorified commission artists. You know what I mean? Until
Okay.
you come up with something that's so unique that people come to you for that. And I hadn't come up with my thing before Loveless. Like, I was just drawing what everybody wanted me to. But once I came up with that, by really tapping in again into my emotions, people on the same wavelength, they like tapped in with it, and they was just like, hey, like I want to tell my story, because I don't think it's all about, like, I call it loveless society because I think the world is like built to be a loveless place. They want you to conform. It doesn't want you, like, uniqueness is really like pushed to the background. And this brand is like, yo, I really want you to tap into who you really are, and like not be afraid to show the world who you are and stuff like that.
Right.
And so it's a very vulnerable like brand, to say the least. Like, you know these stories that I hear with these amazing like clients, like, they're things that I don't forget, and I build like lifelong bonds with them. Like, it's not too often like one of the questions on your tattoo form is, tell me about your passions, your desires. What do you love? What drives you? Like, that's not usually something a tattoo artist asks, but that's like the main thing with Loveless, because I really take that person's story and try to turn it into a masterpiece, because I feel like people are masterpieces. And it's cool that I had to kind of be humbled myself, because I'm a tattoo artist, and you settle down. It's like, oh, I'm the man. And look at me doing the good guy. And so I got humbled when it was like, oh, these things can fail and stuff like that. And I had to go into my vulnerabilities and my emotions. And, it just helped me create great art that attracts a lot of amazing people.
Well, I definitely seen the growth. I look.
And I love
I
it.
also I also represent
So much.
always represent, always talk about you. And, I don't know if I say it enough or even when I, do get tattooed. From what I've seen, I'm very, very, very proud of you. Very
Thank
proud of
you.
you
You,
because
you know that means the world to me.
I've seen it grow. I've
Yeah.
definitely seen it. Like when you post pictures, I'm just like, everybody in the world is gonna have a Loveless.
That's the goal.
That's the goal. That's the goal. So let's get on down to the meat and potatoes.
Cool. I'm on a diet right now, so
No, you want to?
low starch. You know what I mean?
All
So
right.
I'm
So
ready. I'm
let's
ready.
get on the juice and berries of the conversation. Of
Okay, I
the
look.
conversation.
I
That'll
do
work.
love some juice and berries, so
Just
that's
juice and berries.
what get people watching.
Right. Right. Exactly. So, do you feel like it is difficult to navigate in the dating world as an artist, as a creative?
I have to say yes. It's so different from like what I think is like just a normal dating world, especially like as a tattoo artist. We have
Right.
really crazy one. We got really crazy hours. So I'm gonna talk about tattoos, then creatives in general. But as
Yes.
a tattoo artist, we have crazy hours, and so like man, even when I would have girlfriends and stuff, they like, I want you to take me on more dates and stuff like that. I'm like, I get off at 11, 12 o'clock sometimes. I don't get off at like normal date hours. So, and then
Right.
usually I'm tired in the morning. So I'm not like up for like lunch and stuff like that. And I'm so driven that sometimes I got to work on the tattoo before I come in, the drawing or, I got to work on this brand. Like that's a whole other thing on top of tattooing. So
Right.
my time is just really limited. So it takes like a really special girl to like be able to like handle like just my time constraints really. And just kind of, like being in a relationship with me, you have to almost be like you gotta be like a cheerleader a little bit. But the duality of that is I want to be a cheerleader for my lady too. Like I like women that kind of have things going on. Like even if it's a hobby or a passion project, just somebody that like I can have because I love to listen. I love to
Right.
converse. So I want to hear these things too. So that's kind of like what you are getting. You're not getting the guy that's like giving you blanket stuff. Like I actually want to grow with you. I'm really into like I've learned so much about like relationships and like healing and things like that I really think communication is such a strong part of any relationship. But again, I've lost a lot of relationships because being a creative it is like a lot of women just want time. They want that quality time and that is a harder thing for me to give unless you can come into my world like the women that have been able to call quality time like I'm spending time with him while he's creating. Women that can
I
do
was just
that
about to ask that. Yeah.
typically, yeah, they typically like that's typically what works best for me. You know what I mean? Women that are like if I'm drawing and we spending time, we talking, we having a good time, playing around, but I'm creating, and they say like, oh, that's not quality time to me. Like that's you working, and I'm just hanging out with you. I'm like, we never work. And I think that for a greater like community of creatives, like men or women, if you can't understand like this like being a creative like that means you're passionate about something that you probably like have been doing since you were a kid probably or
Hmm.
at least you gain such a passion for it. It takes a lot of hours and a lot of like dedication to become good at what you do, you know what I'm saying? And so a lot of people they work 9 to 5 and then they done, like that's it. Like I got the rest of the day to myself. I got this PTO, blah blah blah.
Right.
You date a
You
real
like, let me
creative.
put a couple of days in.
Yeah, you date a real creative, like you go on vacation. Don't be mad because they it's 2 days tops we can relax, and then it's like, all right, I want to start working on my stuff. So we gonna bring our supplies and materials up a lot of the time, or be taking pictures to get inspiration and stuff. Like you can't turn off being a creative. I be telling people this all the
Right.
time. Actually, like when I get done with work, and I'll be like, woo, all right, that was a long day of tattooing. I'm finna relax, and then I'll just start back drawing. Because I
Because
feel
it's
like
relaxing to
yeah,
you. It's therapeutic, I guess.
what I do is what I actually like to do. It's just the difference between when I'm getting paid for it and this person has expectations versus when I draw something that has no expectations. It's just what I want to draw. So that's really relaxing to me, and sadly, it's usually like something I can make money off of too because of my brand. But it's not a real turn off switch, like of like I'm not really gonna just do anything. I'm always, even when I'm like chilling with somebody, I'm thinking about like stuff I can be creating. I can't turn it off. And so
Right.
it does causes problems with dating some of the time. But to me, I've learned just be honest with women, especially, and the right person will align with those truths. They'd be like, "Oh, that don't bother me." Like, yeah, I like when you create da 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 this and that, and then like they'll notice when I'm trying to be really intentional about like, "Hey, let's do this, let's do that with this time I got." I feel like that's the type of partner that like is for me versus how I used to try to do it, where I used to just try to appease them, and we both weren't getting anything out of it. So for me, I'm like, I'll just
Right.
be honest and let her honesty like coincide with mine, and then I'll be like, okay, that's the one for me.
Got you. Got you. So,
I like this. You look, the juicy questions are the fun ones.
see, so okay, so well, you kind of answered my next question as far
I,
as
I be doing that. I be rambling.
no, that's fine. No, 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 no. Because you said that you like to date people that have something going on as well,
Mhm.
so you can tap into them and
Right.
what's going on with them, and you all are both on the same wavelength as far as creating. So
Mhm.
time factors are understood.
Yeah.
So you now let me ask you this. You did say try, when you weren't dating people that were in the creative world, did you try to help them navigate with the difficulties of dating you, or you just let them be like they'll figure it out on their own?
Yeah, I just was like they can figure it out, let them like
Okay.
mold around me. But now, as a more mature, more healed man, I do think that you don't want nobody to just figure you out. All of us, every human should come with an instruction manual of like this is
Right, right, right,
how
right.
this is because we're all so different. These are the wants and needs that I have, and this is how my traumas have affected me and how I see relationships and life and stuff like that. So
Right.
I would never dare just put that on a partner again. Like I'd always like be trying to at least like if they like how do you feel about this? Like I'll let them know like so that they can know how to like operate around it. So in my more advanced age, I don't
Hmm.
think that I have to have somebody that like 100% understands like my time schedule because I'm gonna help coach them and I'm gonna be so honest about it. And if you can rock with that truthfully, because I believe like in relationships, it's all about stretching. I don't believe you should change for a person. That's a bit much. But you can stretch as far as you can comfortably where it's still you, but it's like because of this relationship, though, I'm willing to stretch this far for you because I can do that. So if it's
Okay.
like I'm saying I need, for me to feel like I had a complete day at work, I need a certain amount of hours, or blah, blah, blah. But you can come hang out with me and, while I'm doing it and we can talk the whole time. She can rebuttal and be like, okay, but, like if I do that, am I going to be reciprocated with like really dedicated, like just sweet time with you? Like, what can you do with that? And I'm like, and I'll really think about it. And I'm just like, I can, like, shit, I can, like, if you give me that and like don't complain about how much I work, like, I'll make sure I give you X amount of like time or X amount of dates in a week because I want to make sure that you feeling fed too. Because you're telling me that's a need. You're being honest that you do just because I don't see it that way. You're telling me that when you go out on dates and get to look pretty and do all of these things, it makes you feel more
Right.
appreciated. As your man, I have to listen to that. Like you're not lying to me. Like so, it's like, all right, well, I want to give you some of those. Let me stretch for you. And so I think like a relationship is just that communication, that back and forth. And you guys, there's no perfect like partner that we're seeking, but there are people that you can make a really fine-tuned, tailored relationship with that feels perfect almost, because you guys have learned each other so much, and not even like to a point where it's like, okay, we know everything. It's like, no, we're constantly growing with each other. We're learning each other
Right.
as we continue to evolve because as we know, like, when we met each other all these years ago, we're much different people than we are. Like people continue to evolve. So in a relationship, you have to be willing to evolve with that person through those many different versions of themselves they're gonna be, and be curious about them and still want to learn and still want to continue to stretch until like just continue to let it grow and grow and grow and get better. That's how I look at it now. So yeah, it's I do look back at my past self and that mentality of like, oh, she'll figure it out. Shoot, like who knows? Like I could have been married by now, if I had a better
If you
mentality.
ain't tell him to figure it out.
Like if I really was like, no, we both in this together. I'm not fucking throwing you on a life raft. Like, let me tell you about me, but also I want to make sure you feel safe enough to be honest about your needs, your wants, and things like that. So that I can see if I can like ingratiate myself into that because we're in this together. We want the relationship. Like, why get in a relationship if you don't think it'll go the distance? Like so let's see how far we can go as far as like molding into this relationship because we're becoming new people together. And with honesty, if it continues to work, yeah, we're gonna be like 80 years old with each other, before we know it. Because we're like, man, we've been doing this, being honest all these years, and like, got all these grandkids now, like great grandkids. And I
You
think that that's what it's about now. Like, I wish I would have knew this knowledge when in my young 20s. Even with that breakup, like, it's so many things that I learned, like the way that I went about it. And, now, here goes some juicy juice, boy, after that breakup, your boy was out here because that's what I was like. I'm like, I don't want to think. I feel so bad. I don't want to feel these emotions. So I was just under any girl that would like be around me. It's a mother wound kind of in there too. If I needed validation from women to feel good about myself, and
right, okay.
but I had like so many girls. And I liked all of them. You know what I'm saying? Majority of them, but some of them I was even in love with. And I'm like,
Right.
this could be something, but with the environment that I've created, it can't be anything because now I'm scared to tell this girl. I'm scared for this girl to find out because what would I be without all the girls to comfort me? And then anytime I would be in a relationship, I felt like, oh, like just scared because I'm like, man, now I gotta be, I gotta be catered to this one girl, like, what the validation in that, you know what I'm saying? But
Right.
I wish I would have took my time after that. Like any hard breakup, now I've learned, like, hey, you take breakups bad. It take you a minute to bounce back and get back to your normal self with the lessons that you learn from that relationship. So now I try to honor it, like, if I go through a breakup, I'm not going to be out here sleeping with, even sleeping or dating anybody. It's like, let me get back to being myself where I feel good again. Like that
Or
person meant something to me. So it's going to take a minute to get back to my normal self as I, disconnect from them in that way, but also still retain the knowledge that I got through that relationship. Because I think each one gets you closer to the relationship you really want. And obviously the ones that are really hard are the ones where it's like, oh, that seemed like it was gonna work. That's why I took that relationship breaking up so bad because I was like, oh, I thought that was gonna work. So that takes even more time, because like you learn so much, but I don't get to apply it with that person. But you
person,
get to apply it
right.
with the next person,
Right.
like, and that's what I've learned the most. So look, I'll be long with these answers, but
No, because you're actually flowing into my follow-up questions about it. So
You, you
no.
you you know what? You're talking about the stuff I like talking about. You know me. Like I love
See?
talking about love. Like it's the number one thing. Like I've been just so even though like I used to go around saying I was bad at it, I've gained so much knowledge on it because I'm so curious about it, like the actual aspect of it. And my biggest fear was always like settling. But now I understand like why I had that fear and things like that. It was like this sense of I wouldn't be free. But yeah, I was a big people pleaser. That was the big thing about me. So I used to like tell like people and brag about like, oh, I'm a chameleon. That's why I could get so many girls and stuff like that. I'm over here, I'm this guy, and I'm over here, I'm this guy, I'm over here, I'm this guy now. But now it's like, yeah, the reason you don't feel free is because you ain't being true to yourself in
So
these relationships. Like, just be
right,
honest, and the right partner is going to be like, you all know, like, hey, like I'm being completely myself, the real me. I feel free because I'm moving how I want to move, and
right.
she with it. Oh, she with it. You know what I'm saying? So like now I see like honesty is the way you get to that. And it took me a long time to learn, bumped my head, lost really great relationships, and but it's all in the process to get to the relationship that I want. And even with that, like I know I'm like making this is the biggest thing I learned with Loveless, like as far as the relationship stuff go. I kept
Hmm.
thinking like you need another person to complete you. Now I see like it's all about loving yourself. Like you'll like getting back to your 100%, you feeling complete with yourself, and then you'll attract good things in another complete person or a person that wants to like grow with you. You know what I'm saying? I was out here broken and hurt. You're gonna attract people that are on that same wavelength, or even if they like are on a higher wavelength, if they decide to stay around you, you're just gonna beat them down. you know. And so they like, man, am I worth it? He ain't treating me like
Right.
that. But I love him because I see all of these like great things in him, and they start to question their own self. And to me, I'm like, man, as men, we got to step up. We can't have our ladies out here confused, man. Like at the very least, just tell them what's up. You know what I'm saying? Even if you dating and you out here, if you man, if you seeing several girls, man, tell these women that you look. I'm seeing several girls, but I want you around too. At least you being honest. You know what I'm saying? So she know how to move
Fellas, I
around.
hope y'all listening. I hope y'all
Yeah, at least
listening.
you know how to move around you. But at the same time, like with the amount of respect she'll have from you from being real honest, when you hit her with that, like, hey, I think I just want to, I want this to be exclusive between me and you. She gonna be like, this motherfucker ain't never lied to me. He kept it real. This
Real.
mofo, I don't know if you cursing, but she, like they want you to, and they come in and they like, yo, like I feel safe with you because you always keep it a buck with me. You always keep it honest. You always, you know, you respect me. At the very end of the day, it's about respect, and I feel like, as men, we do have a responsibility there. Now it's a two-way street, you know what I mean? Like,
Right.
don't come into the relationship too hurt like what the last dude did. Give me a fair shot now. Like, and we can talk through it, but don't be like, oh, like you ain't answered your phone 3 times in a row. Like, last time that happened, I got cheated on. It's like, or I was drawing or tattooing. Like, don't bring. So it's a two-way street, but I take accountability for what I can do, and it's just like, man, my number one goal is to make my lady feel safe. Like, and I'm not gonna come in knowing the recipe for that. So I'm trying to learn what that recipe is through the dialogue, through repetition, through changing behaviors that may strike a trauma with her. And it's like, oh, like that wasn't my intention to hurt you right there. And it could be something simple like, oh, you didn't take out my trash like 3 days in a row and it's just in here. And I'm like, I ain't know you want me to take out the trash,
Take out
but
the trash.
now that we talking about it, like what does that make you feel like? Like let's get down to why one, you felt scared to tell me, but two, like, you know, what does that signify when a man takes out your trash and stuff like that? Because to me, that's gonna give me a bigger reason and motive to be like, okay, I want this woman around. Shit, you ain't gonna see this motherfucker get. I mean, this mofo get. You ain't gonna see no trash touch the brim if that's like what's gonna
I'm gonna
make
go and
you
take
like
this trash out.
feel, make you feel like celebrated and respected and a priority. Like, like real men, they want to be on that time, but it takes a boy has to grow into it, man. There's so many different layers to that, as to why are you taking so long and da da da. Man, we got traumas that we got to get through, and I think a lot of us don't need to be in relationships yet, but we get in them because we think like, oh, like this person will complete
That's
you and
how it's
stuff like that.
supposed to be.
Yeah, people really got to work on themselves. Like if you can't figure it out in these relationships, it might be a sign that you need to really take a step back, see why
Hmm.
you want to be around, like have that partnership so much, because you might just need to do some soul searching. I ain't saying it can't happen in a relationship, but it'll take a real understanding person. It's gonna take you being really honest and stuff too about what's going on with you, how you thinking and stuff like that. So this is a lot of stuff that I've learned like through the years.
That's what's up. That's what you call growth.
Hmm.
That's exactly what it is. So, do you feel that your significant other,
Hmm.
even though I think you kind of answered this in the beginning, do you think they should love your art? What if they were like, nah, it's
So
whatever.
I'm
Like
big on that.
how would that feel to you? How do you receive that?
So I do think this, like, a lot of people, like, you get you like, let's just say, you get the man of your dreams, you know what I mean? Like, let's
Hmm.
say, look, Bilal is in your
Everybody know.
Bilal little brother. It's like he's telling you things that you don't really vibe with you, but you
Hmm.
like, I ain't gonna lose this for that. Like, I'll change. And it's like the moment you start changing like things that are really important to you, like you already like going down the wrong street. I was like, so let's jump off of you because I know you are an enlightened woman.
No, no,
So,
no.
let's say you somebody, like, we'll go with something simple. Something simple.
Yes. I ain't got no problem being on the hot seat.
Yeah, right. Well, so we'll go with something simple. Like, I like to cuddle, right? I
Hmm.
remember I had a relationship that I thought, I was like, I'm really into this, but the girl didn't like to cuddle. Like every night we on different sides of the bed. I hated it, but I liked her so much. I was just like, this just a part of it. You know what I mean? But I knew in my soul of souls, like, I at least want to. Can we be touching a little bit? Like, we ain't trying to traumatize each other. I just gave in to like everything she wanted, and like that ruined the relationship for real because it was like, like I'm over here getting um more and more jaded because it's all these things I'm not telling you that are important to me, and you know like that builds resentment at the end of the day. And then so like when things go bad, you're gonna go right back to all the stuff you resent because y'all haven't been
Right.
being honest. You know what I'm saying? And so to go with art, like yeah, like I already told you I need a cheerleader because like it's days of being a creative, like I'm in artistic funks, like or that I draw something I don't think like it looked that great, or
Mm-hmm.
we live in a social media age, so I'll post something and I'm like, oh man, it's not getting the attention I thought it would get. And I spent all this
Mm-hmm.
time on it, like so I'm in my artist feelings right now. I know that I need, especially as a wife, like
Mm-hmm.
somebody that's like really encouraging about that type of stuff. So she is a big fan of what I do, but also she can talk to me about like things. She can be real with me, like, oh yeah, I don't think that's your best work.
Right.
That's not, like so to me, I'm like that is important to me. So me getting with a girl that didn't like my art,
That's a no go.
that doesn't make sense to me. You know what I mean? It just doesn't make sense. So if I did that, I would be that is settling. Once you start going away from what you like, the things that are like that's a core need to me. Like I do want my like lady to like my art, to be into like the things I create because that's such a big part of me. You know what I'm saying? So like yeah, on that one.
So, um, do you think it's possible that a woman may love you or think she loves you because of what you do?
I know that to be true, but as we know, we all send our representative out first. Like when
Right.
you're courting somebody, and I think that will reveal itself really quick if she just like into me being an artist or a tattoo artist, and that's like her biggest reason for wanting to be with me. Like I like again, I like to talk about deep stuff. I like to dissect movies. I like to talk about like good stories and stuff like that, and I like to listen and have fun and like what I'm saying. Like so, eventually I'll be like, I don't think you're into the real me. I think you're into like my
My
occupation.
representative.
Yeah, I try to like these days I try to keep it real, but when I was a chameleon, I had 19 representatives. I was like, whatever y'all want, I got it for you. I'm just
Not
trying to lay on,
19 representatives.
yeah, I'm just trying to lay on your lap, man. Keep it a little cushion. You know what I mean?
You're so
But now it's
19.
like, yeah, like now it's not. It's just it's me. It's the real me.
That
Like
time of your life, you probably was tired.
I
19
was,
representatives.
and it's funny how
Emotionally,
draining. Yeah, it's so draining.
spiritually tired.
Yeah, so I've like and I've talked about this, but I've done a lot of plant medicines now, like
Hmm.
mushrooms and
Right,
ayahuasca
right.
and stuff like that, and it revealed to me how far away I was from like my true self and who I really wanted to be. So now, like I can't even imagine talking to that many people and trying to balance that. That's so not that it's stupid. At the time, I needed it, and I even look at my past self. I don't look at him and be like, "Oh, like I can't believe you did that." It's just like
Right.
I actually be like, I feel so bad that you feel this is the way,
Okay.
because it's not working, and yet you're addicted to it because it gives you a temporary um, hit that you feel validated and stuff like that. But what we need to be doing, Melvin, younger Melvin, is going deeper into ourselves to learn to validate ourselves, and then we wouldn't have to be doing all of these things. So yeah, I've just learned a lot about myself and being able to self-soothe and things like that to the point where like even now, like, my lady wouldn't have to be like if I got something wrong with me, I can communicate that to her, like, yeah, babe, like this is how I'm feeling right now. Like,
Right.
it's not your job to fix this. If you want to support me, give me a lap to lay on, I like that. Like this isn't your problem
Oh,
to
I like
fix.
that.
I need to process it. And as I process it, I want to obviously communicate with you, but just know that. And if let's say it was like she did cause it, I'll be like, babe, I'm actually really angry right now. Like what you did it's triggered something in me. I know people don't like that word, but it's I say like it's I have some alarm. That's what I like to say. I have some alarm
Yeah.
right now. And it's that alarming of like that past trigger from a past version of yourself that went through something that didn't know how to get out of it. Now I'm older. I know like, hey, this is happening. I feel a certain type of way about it. I'm not putting this on you, because especially if that wasn't your intention. Now, if you over here yelling at me, you trying to make me mad. One, we shouldn't be together.
Right.
But two,
Right.
if you didn't try to upset me and I'm upset, I don't think that you should be over here apologizing and stuff like that. I know, like, you can apologize on, like, I didn't intend to do that. Like, just a little accountability of, like, or not accountability, but showing, like, hey, I didn't try to do that. I'm like, no, no, and because I believe you, and because you didn't try to do that, I need to see why I'm processing it that way. And then let's talk about it once I'm through processing it, and we can have a normal conversation, because right now my emotions are too high. Let me bring my emotions down with a little time, and then let's talk about it like adults, like grown people, and let's come to a resolution, so that we can get
Okay.
back to loving on each other, and continuing for this thing to grow. But now you got new knowledge about something that might bring me to that state. And I also
Hmm.
have knowledge on, like, hey, she was able to tell me, like, how I was triggered by that. Like, even if it was like, oh, my mom used to do this, blah, 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 blah. Like,
Right.
she'll at least know, like, oh, his mom used to do that. Let me kind of be cautious about how I approach him with that. But at the same time, still operate in integrity, and, like, not just be like, I ain't gonna even, like, touch it. It's like, hey, I'm finna do this. I know that sometimes you get upset about it, but just know I love you and I'm not trying to hurt you. And then I can be like, thanks. That's all I needed to hear. You know what I'm saying? So little stuff
Right.
like that. Little stuff like that.
All right. So I'm gonna get away from the relationship question just a little bit. This is more like a artistic question.
Okay.
So what what qualities makes a good artist?
Definitely just passion. It's all about passion. Just that dedication to wanting to create something and see it all the way through. I think the thing that separates, honestly, like, good artists from, like, um from great artists to good artists is just they want to finish stuff. Like, you can have the skill, like, have learned it and things like that, but great artists, we got that need to, like, we have this thing come in our head and it's like, nah, I'm relentless until it's done. And then when it's done, it's still not done. You know why? Because we analyze it and we ask ourselves, how can we improve and keep continuing to get better? And so I think that it's just like that drive to want to make the best. You searching for the best piece of art that you can make, and
Right.
it's like this crazy game that's unwinnable. But that's the point of it, like, it's unwinnable. And you can be an old man, and then you just look back and be like, or old woman, and just look back and be like, man, my body of work is so great because I'm chasing this thing that's it's a funny game, like, I'm trying to find this perfect piece of art, but really I'm the perfect piece of art, because I created this world, these things, these items, I'm a visionary. Like, all this time, like, I was the answer to what I'm chasing. But the good artist, you gotta still tell yourself, like, no, I'm still trying to chase this tangible, like, thing. And so that's even what
Right.
I'm doing. Like, even with the cherubs, I'm always asking myself, how can I make them better? How can I improve on them? How can I do this? How can I, all these things. So I think that's what makes a great creative. Just that hunger to continue to want to, like, keep getting better every time. And it's I call it maniacal. That's a very charged word. I'm really into, like,
Right.
language. Maniacal sounds kind of charged, but I love it though, like, because that's how I feel. Like, even this morning, like, woke up, I had all these ideas flowing through my head. I jumped up out of bed and, like, I was just, I gotta get to work, like, because I'm like, it takes a mad person to want to do that, or just somebody that's really passionate, and also wanting to share that with the world. Like, I don't hoard this stuff. Like, when I create stuff, I share it. I want people that are like-minded, that might resonate with it. I want them to embrace it. And so, that's what makes the great artist.
So do you think some of those ingredients for a great artist would be trauma?
Oh yeah. Yeah. Because, man, somebody said this, and I'm mad at, like, hit me. I wish I knew the person, but when I got a good quote, I usually like to try to, like, remember who said it. But they was
Where it
like,
came from?
yeah, I'm gonna figure it out, and probably put it in the newsletter or something. But they was like, trauma is the seasoning of life.
I
When I
like
heard
that.
Yeah, when I heard that, I was like, wow. Because again, like let's say somebody tell you their life story and everything just worked out great. My parents are great, like everything worked out for me. I made straight A's. I met the perfect person. We
They're a
had two
little
kids.
boring, right? They
Yeah,
don't
it's
have
it's,
like
it's
no
boring,
spice. So
but that ain't no movie. Who wanna watch that? But the moment you add some of that trauma seasoning in it, woo, So all that goes into the art too. Art that I feel like has something to say, where you can kind of feel that emotion, where you can feel something. Like I don't think it's like by happenstance that once I started putting my emotion into my art, I came up with Loveless, and then people were more attracted to me. I drew the exact same way before, but I was drawing things like, anime characters and,
right,
things that I thought looked cool and stuff like that. But the moment I started really putting even that, like I used to draw the girls all the time. And yeah, they look good, but I wasn't trying to say nothing with it other than like, oh, like I like curvy girls, like that's not really saying a lot. But the moment I
right,
started giving these girls like certain, like she's curvy, but why is she crying? Like people like, okay, this hitting a little different. Why is she doing that? Why is this girl a hole in the map? And it's like with this, with a heart as the like goal, like why, she looked good. Why she, it now I'm starting to go into like those traumas and stuff like that, especially when I started adding the guys to it, like, because obviously girls are what I like drawing the most. But when I started
hmm
adding like men being vulnerable, like showing like, hey guys, it's kind of me for real. And even like my healing comic that I'm doing now, like I'm being super vulnerable in there. And people don't even know how deep that's gonna get. Like, but that's my way of being like, I went through such a transformative experience to become the man I want to be. And when I say that, I'm really the man I want to be now. Like I feel like I've healed so much in my life, my old things, and come to terms with so many things. Like me and my parents are in a good place. Like me and my um even a lot of like, people that I feel like I did wrong. Like I came to them genuinely and it was like, someone was like, I don't know why you telling me this stuff. but
I'm gonna
some of them
listen.
was
I'm
like,
gonna listen to you because you seem
yeah,
like you want to get it off your chest.
yeah, you know what I'm saying? So I get that too. That's an honest thing. Like I like that. But some of them were like, wow, I really needed to hear that. Like now I feel like I can get past it because you did hold a special place in my life. And I'm like, yeah, man, like I don't want nobody walking around with no kind of tension in their body because of me. You know what I'm saying? It's like, man, like I was a kid and I take full accountability. Your boy was doing dumb stuff. Like, I was
Right.
treating people bad. Like I was not the man that I needed to be to provide protection and safety and peace. But now that I can see that, I try to move that way as much as possible now. You know what I mean? And I'm not perfect by any means of the word, but I try not to let these things go long too long. Like if I can like, catch myself and I'm like, all right, you don't like the actions you're taking now. Go do something about it. Like, say the right truth or do this or do that. It might be a little hard on your body, because trauma keeps the score and all of that, but go do it because it's the right thing and you'll feel free, But also lead it with love. Don't do it to be like, man, who I did this? Like that's that's nobody want to hear nothing like that. But it's like, look, I'm sorry to tell you, like I messed up. Though. Like
Right.
even as much as this hurts me to tell you, and I don't want to hurt you, I need you to be able to XYZ with your life, so that you can know how to operate around me. But you know, so I do look at it like that now.
So the main, the what I grasp from what you just said is it's very imperative. It's imperative to not. I'm sorry. I got a table being delivered, and I thought I cut that off, but they just put it by the door.
That's
So,
all good.
so I'm sorry. So it's imperative to not let things fester.
Yeah, very. Very, because that
Okay.
energy is trapped inside of you, and it's, you're not going. It's not good for you. That's unnecessary stress. I used to be a big time liar, like, and mind you, for real, like, I used to think that a line was a sport. But let me go a little deeper into this. It's funny because the ayahuasca, when it gets in you, it like reveals things to you, and so it was telling me that the reason I lied was because. Um, I really wanted to like protect my mom. I won't go so deep into that because this is so lighthearted.
I
But I
got you.
really,
Yeah, yeah.
I wanted to protect her, and so I didn't want to hurt women. Like I had like this thing where it was like it was established to me. I don't want to hurt women. But when my father he went to prison for a while
Mm-hmm.
for 10 years actually, and my
Mm-hmm.
mom she was the sole breadwinner for us. But she was depressed. She taking it out on me and my brother. So
Right.
now I kind of got a fear of women. Like like I already don't want to hurt you, but if I don't say exactly what you want to hear, you take it out on us. Like so now I was like I learned at a young age. Like if I just tell you what you want to hear, I don't I ain't gotta suffer nothing. You know what I mean? And so those two traumas mixed together had me grow into somebody that was like, I'll just tell people what they want to hear because it's less contentious. But especially women, like I'll just tell women what they want to hear because I won't have to get punished, you know. Um,
Right.
but I've learned that while that might have worked in childhood, that's not healthy for a relationship or anything like that. Look, I'm circling back to relationships, but
No, no, that's fine.
that's not healthy. You need to be honest with people. And also, I thought conflict was a bad thing. Now I embrace conflict. Like if I need to tell you something, I need to tell you something. Because that's
Well,
the only way we're going to be able to grow.
you mentioned conflict, but I personally feel there's no growth without conflict.
Oh, you're 100% right. And I didn't know that. You should have told me that when you met me. I would.
Hey, I just wanted to let you know there's no growth without conflict.
Look, I might use that in the newsletter
Right? See,
because it's
it's
true. It's
it's because you don't have anything to work on,
yeah,
and I think conflict and the lack of stagnation. I can't
exactly.
stand to. Oh my gosh,
Yeah,
I don't care if it's a friendship, a love relationship. If
yeah,
two people, four people, five people, six people, whatever, are not evolving, like you said earlier, you hit a brick
yeah,
wall.
yeah,
And then that's when a lot of nonsense comes out
yeah.
and that needs to be addressed. And
Exactly.
once it's not addressed, you crash and burn.
Crash and burn.
I I'm telling you, I'm a product of that. That's not nothing I read. It's not nothing I heard. I was a participant
Yeah,
in that.
yeah,
And but I was the one that saw it. Like, hey, like we not doing nothing. What we doing in year one, we doing in year six. Like,
yeah, yeah. Exactly.
and then when it's not well received, you come across like the nag, or you always got something to say. But you honestly see, if we don't fix this, we not going nowhere.
Exactly. No, I agree 100%. So, that's wise words from a wise woman.
Yep.
Like, I'm finally getting up there.
Right.
So,
Tell
you know,
look, tell everybody come sit on my couch.
like, and it's funny too. That's one thing I learned. Like, the simple thing is usually the right thing, but people confuse like simple with like easy. It's like, nah, simple is usually the hardest thing.
Smooth.
Yeah, it's
The
usually
hardest thing, but smoothly
yeah,
navigate through it.
yeah.
Hard is when you like, I don't want to do that. Nope,
Right.
I'm not doing it. This
Yeah, the easy thing is usually the thing that, you know what I'm saying? It's it's the last thing you need to do.
right,
Like we can use an example, like, again, going into my past, being like, I need to spend time with myself, but some girl like, hey, come through and kick it. Like, it's like, yeah, like I can like not think about nothing if I just go come through there and kick it.
right.
But I need to be by myself. The hard thing to do right now is to sit here by myself and be like, no, I just need to be alone for a minute. That's a hard thing versus like it's easy to go over there and be like, oh, I'm gonna just put my feelings on the back burner. But in the long run, I'm just putting myself behind the eight ball. You know what I'm saying?
Oh,
Because now I'm confusing her, and I ain't dealt with nothing. So it's just bringing my baggage over there. You know what I'm saying? So in the long run, I think about things for the long run. What's the simple hard action I can take right now? Like eating healthy. You know what I'm saying? Like nobody
right,
wanted to eat healthy, but it's like you do this hard thing because you know what it is. Like it's simple. You should eat healthy. If you do it over the long run, you'll feel way better than that
better.
quick hit of like, oh, well, this food tastes good, so I had to do what I had to do. It's like, well, nah, 10 years later, your
Mess
health is
up.
where it needs to be. So it's like it's the combination of making those hard decisions over time that leads you to the better life.
Right. So, do you feel boundaries are important?
Boundaries are everything, and that's where I've learned with the conversations that I usually say, what I be talking about. That's where you end up being able to curate that life that you really want. especially if you're somebody that kind of grew up as a people pleaser, or you felt like, or you had to be a caretaker earlier, especially. And when I say caretaker earlier, I ain't even talking about as an adult, like having a kid young.
Mhm.
I'm talking about like you were a kid and you were kind of looked at to help take care of everybody. It's a lot of kids that they're not really allowed to be kids. Like, I look at
Kids.
my daughter right now, she's 10,
Mhm.
and it's so much just youthful joy in her because me and her mom, we don't require her to be like, when I was 10, I had to be grown at 10,
Mhm.
and that's not how a kid naturally like develops and stuff like that. So of course you get older and now you don't know how to even like you don't even know what you need or what you want. You're just so worried about what everybody else need and what everybody else want, and you put yourself last. But it's like the whole putting the oxygen on you first at the airport. The only way that a plane, the only way you're gonna be able to help people is if you like able to like be conscious and help them. So it
Correct.
is like the more you learn about yourself, like yeah, let people know like I feel this way about this, or I need less of this from you. And again, lead it with love. Like it's not to shade you. It's because this is just what I need over here. Like even if you're in a relationship and you one of the people that's like, hey, like for like 2 hours in the middle of the day, I really just want to be alone. I want to
Mhm.
be alone. I want to watch some sports. I'm being honest about it. It's kind of a boundary. Is that a hard boundary? Yes. One, you being honest. Is everybody going to accept it? No. And that's
No.
cool, but at least you're being honest about it. And like that person can be like, okay, well, I don't want to be shut out for no few hours. But again, that's a conversation too. Like, I can leave you alone, but how about can I watch the sports with you? Like, I just want to watch the sports with you. It's up to that. That's the back and forth. It's up to them if they want to let you watch sports with them. But again, it's like you create these boundaries and people know where you stand. And I do think like there's wiggle room there. You know what I'm saying? Like
Okay.
there's wiggle room. It's not so hard. You just got to be in line with what the person say is. And if that person's boundaries are like, and again, their boundaries, so if they want them that strict, they can be that strict. But it'll be a little bit harder if you just rock solid on everything. You know what I mean? Like, but I do think boundaries are important because that again, I think that's what we're talking about with conflict. It starts the conflict simply by stating that you got a boundary. Now we have conflict. If that person don't see why you got that boundary, and that conflict again is it's a super low level boundary that can still be kept in love. And it's like now we can have a conversation. Why do you have this boundary? And how can we navigate around this boundary and it still work for both of us? Uh,
Right.
in and I'm talking about obviously relationships and friendships and family. But if it's a relationship and it's like I got somebody you're dealing with and you don't really even want to be with them, I got this boundary. I don't think we should talk. Like listen to them. Like it ain't no real wiggle room around that. They said like you'd be better out of my life. you know, you can try to like talk to them and stuff, but they probably need their time. You know what I mean? Like
Cuz if someone is not well received about your boundaries, then it does create conflict because it makes them feel um like the op. You know what I'm saying? Like, okay, well, they must don't want to spend time with me, this, that, and the other. They doing something else. I think the issue comes when somebody says something, you won't a person doesn't take it for what they just said. You're taking it on how your mind is receiving it,
exactly,
and a
exactly.
whole bunch of assumptions
Hmm.
can kill that person is very, very honest with you. Like, nah, I'm not doing nothing, but I need my alone time. So when I'm with you, I come as a full cup and not half.
You know what I'm saying? And so you hitting it so on the nail head. I love when people that I care about are kind of on the same wavelength as me. You know what I mean? And
Right.
so I think if somebody takes a very honest boundary that somebody's setting and they take it really hard, but it's like one of these things where it's like I'm not hurting nobody. I'm not doing anything destructive. I'm not doing anything that'll like make this relationship worse. I'm just asking for this thing, and it's like I need it for a healthy reason, and the other person takes it bad. I now
Right.
think that they're going into their trauma. Like, why are you taking this so bad? Do you have abandonment issues? Again, I'm not even
I was just
crapping
about to
on.
say that.
Yeah, I'm
I
not
was
even
just
crapping on them because if you got
right.
abandonment issues, you got abandonment issues. Like that's something that need to be
That
worked out.
your boundary is a trigger for someone else.
Exactly. And so it's like, all right, well, this boundary I'm setting, I need it. this triggers you, let's let's have a discussion about this. There's a discussion here. You know what I mean? Because and maybe this at the end of the discussion, one of the people like they're like, I do feel like I'm being a little irrational. Like now that we breaking it down, I do feel kind of silly that it could be something silly like she want to hang with the girls once a week, and a dude like, no, I don't want you out there with them and blah blah. It's like it, we need to talk about this. There's an issue going on with you because that's not normal. She can't hang out with her friends. Maybe this dude had, like he got cheated on, or like he just or something where his mom, I'll say that, like she left him a lot, alone, and
Hmm.
so now he feels like other men are a threat, or like or she would be with her friends like other women are like it's all these things, but it's like it's a conversation. All of us are tailor made to we ain't pick these traumas and triggers.
Right, exactly. It's not a pair of shoes or something like that.
Yeah, but
Exactly.
we do pick partners, and if we're gonna pick that partner, we have to figure out how to maneuver around them. Like that's gonna cause them the least amount of like triggers and stuff like that, but also like helping them heal that at the same time, being like this thing that you had this way, that's actually not what's happening. You're actually being loved on right now. You know what I mean? Like so that same dude that need that little hour or two to watch the game, he in the house with it. He ain't doing nothing. You can check it there and see
Hmm.
him. Like, cause I ain't gonna say he going off. Like, I can every Tuesday,
Right. You
but
got an
you can see
appointment?
him and you feel a type of way that this man just want a little alone time. You know, there's something triggering you there that we need to like discuss and figure out because that's actually not healthy that you are feeling like he's doing something bad to you when he clearly ain't got no intention of doing nothing bad to you. He's just trying to recharge to be better for you, actually. But you don't even want him to recharge. You like, I'll rather take you at 0.5% if that mean I ain't got to be in here by myself. And it's like, so we need to talk
That's
about
not
it.
right, and it's
Yeah,
not fair
it's
to
not
that
fair.
other
Yeah.
person.
But this is the
Definitely.
other thing too. Some of them dudes, I'm telling you, like, and I'm saying dudes, but people that don't know how to hold those boundaries. It's like, well, my lady don't want me to be alone, so I'll just, no, all right, ain't gonna be alone. But then they got resentment. Then now they not being honest. They're not saying like, I'm not getting my recharge from nowhere, and now I'm not recharged, and the time I'm giving you, I'm not giving you good quality time. I'm like, man, we should, like when you
You
could have got
crazy,
your
bro.
recharge time if you just stood on business. You know what I'm saying? And be like, we can figure this out together. Like if you want to come in and tap in with your boy, you know what I'm saying, every now and then, like while I'm
Right.
watching the game, that's cool. Like maybe that's the compromise. Like, you know what I mean? Like you can ask me questions every now and then, but like ultimately, I'm trying to get my feet kicked up. Trying to have a cigar. I don't smoke. I'm just saying different kind of guys. I, I don't like the whole thing could be like, yo, people ask a lot of me. And so for 2 hours a day, I just want to feel like no one's asking nothing of me. You know what I mean? And it could just be as simple as that. But again, that's that conversation.
Right. So let's see. Do you feel like you're highly emotional because you're an artist?
Okay, so I used to suppress my emotions a lot. I was somebody that I really like, again, the whole chameleon thing. I like just blending in for real.
Hmm.
Um, and so now that I am more in touch with my feelings and I care about emoting and stuff like that, mind you, I'm real big on like I tell my daughter this too, like big emotions gets into other people's energy and stuff like that. You want to be in control of your emotions, but be able to, so a lot of times like with me and her, we will say how we feel. We say it in a calm manner. It comes across the same, like it's a difference between like you being mad and being like, well, I'm mad at da 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 versus like you hit your partner with like, on the real, I'm real angry with you right now. I'm real angry with you right now. So I need to take time to process this. But don't get it twisted. I'm not. I'm not feeling good about you right now. But I love you. And so I need to figure out why I feel this way. And so that we can have the right conversation. So that's kind of how I express. So I don't want to say I'm like overly emotional. I
Okay.
do allow my emotions though, but I'm really good at like expressing them without going to the extremes with them. You know.
To get them
Um,
get them across.
yeah, yeah, I get them across though because they are important to acknowledge. And I feel them. And sometimes like when they do feel really big, I
Hmm.
try to separate myself. Like again, that's where I need to process this. Like maybe I need to go. Maybe I do. Like I got a punching bag. Maybe I need to punch it. Like maybe I need to let out the rage. You know what I mean? Like maybe I need to scream. You know, like I tell my daughter all
Right.
the time. You know, if you're feeling real, like you need to let anger out, get the pillow, put it on your face, and just scream hard as you can. Like, and if you're relating that to your partner, like, hey, I'm doing this so that I can calm down and have a good conversation with you. I go in the next room, but I got to let this out. You say that from the jump, then they won't even think it's weird. They'll be like, man, that's just what she do. It's better than her coming in here like, you know, like she come in here, she mad at me. Cool. Like, you know, let's figure this out. Like, you know, why are you mad? Stuff like that, you know. But I do think it's a place where you can have any emotion and be at peace, you know, like, hey, I'm angry AF, you know, but
Right.
I'm at peace with my soul with it. I just want you to know that I am like boiling, you know.
So do you what's your red flags in a relationship? What like that's just like, no, we ain't gonna I'm not gonna take this further with
One word, like accountability. When somebody can't be accountable, that's my biggest red
it.
flag. Like because you can't have a conversation with somebody that don't take accountability. Everything that and they're like everything they do, they're the victim. It's never their fault. It's never not, like I'm like I can't rock with nobody like that because they're
Mhm.
really hard to like talk to. You know what I mean? And even if they seem like they're getting it, in their head, they just like my partner's coming down hard on me and blah blah blah. They don't think I'll ever be right. Then again, that's going in the victim mentality of like they don't think I'm good enough or blah blah this and that. It's like, no, man, like we just had a talk. Why are you doing this? Just take some accountability, like, hey, there, I could have showed up better. Or that wasn't
Okay.
my intention, but I can acknowledge that it made you feel that way. And I'm sorry. You know,
Right.
like how do we like rectify this? Let me take some accountability is the biggest thing with me, you know, like and the majority of my relationships that didn't work is because I didn't know how to take accountability. I thought I was the villain or I thought I was the victim. It was never like in the middle. Sometimes I thought I was the hero, even like where I'm like I'm doing what's best for us, you know. But it's just I'm Melvin, and that's it. I'm just a human, and let's just sit. I messed up. Dang, I didn't know I messed up. And when I do know, you definitely need to take accountability. Like, hey, I didn't show up with integrity right there. Like, or I didn't like the way I was moving right there. Or blah blah blah. Man, that'll make a person feel so respected. Just like even if they don't agree with what you did at all, like the worst thing, you know, like as long as you like honest about it, they like, I appreciate you for telling me this. Like,
It
it's not
stops them in their tracks. You be
yeah,
like,
like
oh,
yeah, like now because you told me that, I know exactly how I need to move, or I can take time to see how I need to move. You know what I mean? And if that, even if that, like, let's go to friendship, even if that means y'all not gonna be friends no more, at least you gave me that nugget. Like you took an action that didn't align with you. You saying it didn't align with you. You want to fix the friendship, but if I feel like you told me that, like all that's true. But if I feel like yeah, you took it too far from me, I'd rather like be away from you. Thank you for allowing me the option to be away from you. You know, because some people just lie to you, and
right.
now you over here looking stupid. Like like man, you ain't know that. It's like man, nobody told me, and now it's contentious. Now it's real bad. You know, when it could have been like man, I wasn't standing. I didn't like the action that I took there. I'm gonna take accountability for it. Like I need to show up better. And what I found is like, because at first, like my truths used to be bad. Like, yeah, of course, it's it's hard to tell somebody a truth that's like bad or destructive. But
Hmm.
over time, like especially as you're being more honest and telling like these truths, especially when they're hard truths, you find that
Hmm.
your truth, like because you don't want to tell no more hard truths, you find yourself taking better aligned actions, and so your truths
Hmm.
become less and less and less intense. You know, it go from like, yeah, I was talking to the girl, it was like, oh man, yeah, I got caught, versus, oh man, baby, I forgot to take out trash, my bad. You know, like that ain't the truth that's gonna ruin nothing. You know what I mean? She gonna be pissed because she like her trash taken out every third day or whatever. But
You stupid Melvin.
but your truths get better, you know, over time because you holding yourself so accountable that you want to have better actions, you know. So
All right. So what do you consider non-artists? Like, do you call them normal people? Like
oh, that's
somebody
good.
that's not creative? What do you refer to
Yeah,
them
I, I,
as?
call, I call them
How do you
normal.
see the world?
Yeah, I
For
call them normal people.
what
Um,
do you call them?
I do call them normal people. That's funny. I believe everybody's special. So this is the thing too. I feel like everybody's special and they have something that they can give to the world. Where I will
Okay.
say like normal people is where they ain't even kind of tapped into what that special thing might be. You know,
Okay.
they are just kind of going again with the level of society tells them they should do. Go to work, you know, do this, get married by this age, do that, you know, blah blah. Don't complain. Like that's real normal to me, and that don't sound like a life I would want to live. But
Correct.
I find that people, even like your soap company and things like that, is like, let me step outside the box. Like, let me do
Hmm.
something different. Let me take adventures. Like, it's hard for me to call, like, so this like somebody that's not creative is like maybe somebody that do rock climbing. You know what I mean? But I'm not going to
Okay.
call them normal. Like, that's far from normal because
Right.
I see you tapped into your passion. You know, I see you tapped into the thing that you do to make you feel free in this world that you give to the world. Because again, like something like a rock climber, what they give into the world, it's showing that you can be fearless. It's showing that you can showing other people that they don't have to live with bounds, like that you can go vertical and high in the sky. Like that's really an empowering thing through your like actions and stuff like that. So I don't call
Hmm.
people like that. I don't call people that are in line with their with things that make them passionate and in flow. I don't call them normal people. You know what I mean? So even if they're not creating art, like I don't call them normal people. It's the only people I call normal are like, you know,
Just going through the rigmarole of life.
yeah,
Just
yeah. So this is the thing too,
benign.
right?
Just
So
like you
like
said.
obviously I've heard like a lot of stories. That's the thing. I don't really think nobody's normal. I just call them normal when I see like, oh, you caught in the trap of being normal. I obviously I've read a lot of stories from the people that you know are in Loveless, and there have been a couple people where it's like they kind of put down some basic stuff, and then I just push them a little harder, and then they tell me some really deep stuff about themselves. And like, you know, one of the questions is, what are your passions? And some people, you know, there's been times they're like, I'm not really passionate about that. And I'm like, no, really, what if you didn't have no more, if you didn't have to worry about money, what is the thing you do for free? And everybody got an answer for that. Even if it's like,
Right.
shoot, I'd go to every country and blah 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 and this and that. I'm like, yeah, you're probably passionate about traveling. You want to
Traveling.
culture. You
Yeah.
want to see things. You know what I mean? So until they get to that point, because if somebody asked me that question, I'd want to make a cartoon still. Like, you know, like that's so really in line with what I already do. That's why people are like, oh, Melvin's not normal. It's because I'm in line with like my passion. Like I want to
Passion.
create, I want to make stories, you know, and so I do. You know, that's my normal life, whether it's on scan or whether it's on paper or whether it's when I'm typing. I just bought a typewriter too. Like I'm so
You
excited
did?
about it. Yeah, man. Like I'm
And
what's
look, are you
normally
pushing it over to the side?
yeah, for real, it's from the 70s. Like,
Yeah.
you know, I'm excited
Yes.
about it. You know what I'm
I
saying?
had one. My first
Did you?
typewriter was like in the 80s. It was a brother. You know
Yeah.
that brand brother?
Why
And
you ain't
I
got it
type
more?
and I push it over and
Look, see, look, I told you we tapped in.
we
But
tapped in.
yeah, so
We
I don't
tapped
call
in.
people that are living like, you know, in line with like their passion or what they, you know, what they're or what they want to bring to the world or like what brings them in the flow and makes them feel free. I don't call them normal people. So I throw the term out loosely and then I'm so quick
You'll
to take
take it
it away.
back.
Yeah, I'm so quick to take it away once I see what makes that person special, you know. So that's why everybody in Loveless, because I've gone so deep with them, none of them feel normal to me. You know, like none of them feel normal to me. But I do want them to be like whatever those things are. I do hope sooner than later, you know, that they bring some of that into their like actual life so that they can like see just how special they are.
Special they are.
Mhm.
Yeah, that's deep right there. For some people, from what you was just saying about the beginning of your story, I feel like once you know tapped into your passions and what you wanted to bring to the world, if I'm pretty sure it felt like the universe shift towards you.
Big time, big time. Like right on time too. Every time is right on time, even when it's hard. Like, and that's the funny thing too. Like, I want people to know this. The majority of the time is really hard because you like to change. You have to go through uncomfortable stuff a lot of the times, and I just embrace that uncomfortable part now way better than I used to. Or I used to run from it. You know, like we'll go back to that breakup. Like I couldn't just sit alone for a minute and just you know, realize like I downloaded some bad messages when I when I by going the route that I did. If I would have sat down, I'd have been like, man, you was a sweet guy. Like, and then you know, stuff I was saying in my head, like, oh man, nice guys, they get treated like this and they get left and blah blah blah, this and that. And then I was like, well, I'm gonna just be a bad dude, and you know, I ain't gonna care. I'm gonna have all these like these terrible messages to get, and that's what happened by going to the easy solutions, the quick solutions. But if I was just sat there with myself and been like, man, I'm really hurt, and just went deeper and deeper and deeper, you know, could have got more into my meditation, could have got like at an earlier age, could have got more into like knowing myself. It's like, no, I liked who I was in that relationship. I liked how I was treating her. I need to do that for the next girl. Let me get back to my being back whole. And because it's like the way I treated her, shoot, like if I would have treated some of these other girls that same way, like daughter's mom or just, exes and stuff, again, I'd be married because
Right.
they wanted to be treated that way. I was just with, a person that wasn't aligned with that at the time. You know what I'm saying? So I should have got back to like, it's things like that, that I really see whole now of just, you know, that's the way you live. That's what you need to do. There's always a return to self.
True. True. Now I already know this about you, but I
Mhm.
want others to hear it. I guess if people listen this far, you may know the answer already as well. So do you only enjoy deep conversations? You feel small talk is frivolous, time wasting, you need to get under layers with people. You don't
Yeah.
want to know what the weather is because you can look on your phone and find out what the
Yeah.
weather
Any
is.
conversation at surface level, I just feel like we're not building a connection, and that's friendships, even with family. If we're not really talking about nothing, like we're not really doing nothing, And so I do like going deeper with people, but
Okay.
again, too, I don't let a lot of people into my circle. Like obviously, like my Loveless bubble is like my biggest like kind of my biggest just social like group, I
Hmm.
think, because I allow so many people into that. But everybody, like literally, we start that relationship off with tell me about you so I can get to know you. And then, as you know, when y'all come to get tattoos from me, y'all learn so much about me because I'm
Right.
I'm an open book. And now the difference is these days it's even crazier because I'll talk about traumas and
you
real deep
you get
stuff.
tattooed and Melvin telling you this story, you like, oh, okay.
Yeah, man, I've and especially with my guys now, like we be talking about some deep stuff. Like I wish, like like because I with women, it's real easy for me to let women get vulnerable, But with these
Right.
dudes, we be talking about some real stuff now because I be talking about like the stuff I've been through, and I just put it on a platter. And all these dudes that you think the toughest, like most masculine, like manly dudes, um, they finally able to tap into that other side and just become a little softer and just be like, man, yeah, when this happened to me, man, and this happened, and when my lady left me over here, when this happened, and or losing my kids, or blah blah, or like, or even
Right.
this business, man, we be getting deep in here, and it be on some real like. I've had guys like again, like that I've known for years. They come in here now. We be talking about some real stuff. They be like, "Man, this was like therapy. I needed this," And I'd be like, "Bro, I needed you," because I be having stuff I want to let off my chest and stuff
Right.
too, and that would be the perfect opportunity to do it. Because again, like us men, we're gonna give a different perspective to each other. It got to be deeper than just like, man, where they at, bro? Like, I had her last night. Like, let's go deeper than that, man.
Right.
Especially my young guys, like, like our like as a now my OG, somebody that they look up
Yeah.
to, mentor. My last apprentice actually, like, he had a girlfriend, and I would always tell him, I'm like, bro, pour into her. You know what I'm saying? Like, even if the relationship don't work, pour into her. You don't need to be with all these girls and stuff like that. And that's not the messaging that I got, but that's like, I'm
Right.
trying to set you up for a better life. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, you only gonna be able to maximize a woman by pouring into her. You know what I'm saying? And every time you get another one on the side, you dividing that, and you ain't gonna be able to pour into her like you need. I said the only way you're gonna get the best out of a woman is where she feel completely safe, when she feel completely like she can be herself, when she feel like she can be more in her feminine. Like, yeah, every woman need to tap into their masculine, but they need to reside in their feminine. You know what I'm saying? Just like we need to reside in our masculine and be able to tap into our feminine. You know what I'm saying? Like, so, and he did it immaculately. Like that dude right there, like like at a young age, like I just saw like had that relationship, and the relationship didn't work out, and he got a new relationship now, but he just went about it just in a way that I like as a like I call them like my brothers, but
Hmm.
my apprentices, I feel like they be my sons, except for like one
Right.
who's older than me, but the rest of them I feel like my sons, and I'm like, this is how I want my son to operate, and if I'm ever blessed with a boy, I'm giving him better down, like better messaging than I got. You know what I'm saying? Like, no, saying you don't need that. I said it's cooler for all these girls to want you, but you got boundaries and you stand on business, like, and especially if you got somebody, be like, oh no, I couldn't do nothing. Like I couldn't mess that up. Like, you know what I'm saying? I appreciate the
Right.
attention and I'm gonna keep being fly and I'm gonna keep being cool and I'm gonna keep being on my stuff. But just know I ain't just out here dividing it like that. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Right.
or unless you and your girl are all just poly or something, like, whatever y'all rules. Hey,
We
you know,
look, we ain't gonna get
yeah. I'm one of them dudes where I'm like, as long as y'all being honest with each other, just don't do it behind their back. You know what I'm saying? We ain't gonna go that road. Let's go back to the
right,
straight
right,
road.
right. That's another conversation.
That's a whole nother conversation.
All right, so we gonna get a little spicy, just a little bit, just a little bit.
Okay.
So, in your opinion, do you feel like artists make better lovers?
I do feel I'm gonna say yes because I think like we pay attention to stuff that like a normal person probably wouldn't pay attention to. Like I'm using that term because
It's normal.
yeah, we're very intuitive with like even before like I was more healed, I was in tune with energy and stuff like that, and
Right.
just the little things that people don't care about, like like a freckle, like wow, this makes this person look really unique, or just the way their lip frows up or their nose, like how like or just little things like so. Since we care so much about that, I think when it comes to like being sensual, we're able to appreciate these things a lot more. And then if you're like me, that stuff comes out in the art. You know what I mean? Like so for me, like like obviously I draw these really thick girls, but people don't even like ever say anything about the fact that I like draw back folds on like every single girl. Like it's a real thing. I'm like, if you got that much thickness, if unless you got like a BBL, like you're gonna like it's gonna kind of like curve under a little bit right there
Right.
in those pockets. But for me, I draw that because I think that's sexy, and it's
Right.
because I pay so much attention to it. Like if I thought you were sexy, like yeah, you holding your back a certain way, it makes a few folds, but I can appreciate that. So
Okay.
it's little things like that where I feel like, us artists, we kind of like tap into that a lot more. And because of that, like I get the fantasies and stuff like that. Like because we are really like we are very present when it comes to that because we're so in tune to it.
Okay. So, do you feel like you're creating art in the bedroom?
That's a good question. I guess I'm just being present, you know. I guess you could put it that way. Like it is like painting canvas a little bit, I guess, Like I'm just being present though. That's my biggest thing. Like, with me, again, it's going all out there, but I'm a
I'm
giver.
asking a little too much.
No. I don't care about this stuff. I'm a giver, so I really want the girl to have a good time. Like I really
Okay.
want her to feel seen, feel present, feel loved on. Um, Look, here you go, TMI. I remember this back in mind you, this is like 2011 or something. Like it was a long time ago. But this one girl, I was like messing with her. It just halfway through, she was like, look back. She's like, Melvin, if you don't want to be with me, don't be doing all this. And that's always stuck with me in my head. But it's because like no matter who you are, I really care. Like if I'm gonna be there and we have agreed to this, I want to have fun. I want you to have fun. I don't want you to feel like it was a waste of time. I want you to feel more alive, so things like that. The only difference now is that I don't want to share that with everybody. I'd rather share that with
Everybody. Right. 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 Right.
share that so I can receive that energy back. You know what I
Okay.
mean? Because I do know that sexual energy is really powerful, and I needed it for validation. But I know from them, they're getting it from me because they know I got all of this drive and this ambition and blah blah blah. But a lot of times, like you do that stuff and you wanted to do other things like art, but because you can put sexual energy in art, and I didn't put that energy into the art. I'm over here in the bed with this girl I don't really want to be with,
Be with.
and so they're taking my energy because by the time I'm done, do I feel like drawing with that? I don't got that same sexual energy no more. I'm kind of drained, like, and so even if I decide to draw, it's not gonna come out the same because that raw primal urge is gone now. Like, like so now I'm drawing a girl and she probably looks stiff, and it's like, oh, it's because I'm not in that mode no more. So I try to protect my energy because I do feel like you don't have to protect your energy if you with somebody that you've been really honest with, and it's y'all energies, like especially with sex, y'all actually make each other feel more alive. You know what I
Right.
mean? So I do subscribe to that.
That's a great perspective.
Mhm.
So, like the lady said, if you don't want to be with me, you know, so does that create an environment for stalkers? Like when you weren't tapped into yourself and you was spreading yourself a little thin, but
Yeah,
you was giving them the business. Was
I probably still got stalkers, but it's okay. As long as they don't go too crazy, you know what I mean? Like,
okay.
I probably still got stalkers. It just kind of comes
You
with.
got stalkers.
I think that comes with just being like a tattoo artist and like having a little notoriety. It's gonna be some people that just can't let you go because again
Because of
that's what
what you
happens
do.
when you
Right.
spread your energy to too many people, especially people that I ain't gonna say don't deserve it, but people that's like there should have been a little bit more discernment there because I look at my energy now, like I look at especially my body, it's a gift, and I was like, oh, if people like and if women enjoy this, then that means that it must be something good here. I should be
Right.
doing a better job of protecting that, like what I'm saying. So yeah, you can went out here and done something with somebody that you don't want to be with. Yeah, they, you can gave them that energy. They like, man, that's some crack. I want some more crack. Like, I ain't even mad at it. You know what I'm saying? And vice versa. This girl's like, I'll check on Instagram. I'm like, bro, what is she doing? Like, I ain't gonna tap in with her. You know what I'm saying? Because of where I'm at. But like, I remember, like, that was good. I remember it was good. It ain't. But obviously I ain't stalking nobody, but that's a form of it. Like just being like, look, let me go see what she been up to. But some people obviously they gonna be like, no, you was the one, and I'm like
Right.
ain't the one. If like you'll know if I'm the one,
One.
I'll be on your
I
head,
just was the
like
one that gave it to you good, but I'm not the
yeah, like
one.
I'm not the one. And look, this is how much accountability I got. I'm sorry for giving it to you like that because I shouldn't have did what I did when I did it.
I apologize for giving it to you that good.
Yeah, I
I'm
apologize.
just the best at what I do.
I try to be decent. I try to be decent.
All right. So we're gonna close it out with once you fall in love with a person, do they become immortal to you? They're in your art some type of way all the time?
Ooh. I'm gonna give you credit. That's people ask a lot of questions. These have been great questions. That's probably the most unique question I've heard for a long time.
Oh shoot, look.
Yeah, that's such a man. That's a great question. It's funny too because girls do hit me up like from my past,
Mhm.
and they'll just be like, "I know that's me." Like it ain't like And so from that, like again, you absorb so many energies, especially when I was out here wilding like that.
Mhm.
It has to come out in the art a little bit, and I guess it's subconscious. Like I try not to draw girls and be like, "Oh, that's definitely you." You know what I mean?
Okay.
And if it is definitely somebody, I try to acknowledge them, like, man, like that's clearly you. Like I drew you or whatever. But I can see where women would be like I know that's me. Like, look at that. That's how I stand. That's how I like. That's my posture. That's my body type. That's my face. Mofo.
Right.
Like, I get it. But and so like it probably comes out that way. You know what I mean? Like, because it would be like little things. Like, I had an ex that was short, and people would be like, "You just keep drawing her as the cherub." I'm like, that is not true. But it's cool that y'all think that. It's just not true. You know what I mean? But who knows? I am somebody that I like girls being shorter than me because I'm not like the tallest guy. So I know that like, with my girls not being like very tall looking girls, like
Right.
I'm pretty sure that comes out in the art. I don't like you will never like I guess unless you count Cupid, but typically
Mhm.
when I draw like a guy and a girl together, like the guy's always taller than the girl.
Taller.
In my
Mhm.
head, like I like that dynamic. Not saying that
Mhm.
there's nothing. Obviously, the other dynamic is cool too, but it's just obviously I'm going from experience there, and since I'm
Right.
usually not with taller girls, it doesn't come out in the art. You know what I mean? And I guess if I did, like I guess any tall girl I was, but she'd be like, "Well, that's clearly me." But
That's your that's your preference.
yeah, it's a preference. So again, and you're gonna obviously like if you're attracted to something and you're an artist and you can replicate that, I guess it'll kind of come out in the art, like just the way a nose is or the way eyes are, the way like even like the butt's shaped or something like that. Like
Right.
I understand, So do they become immortal? I won't say that any particular person becomes immortal unless like again I said it. Like I haven't had like an outright muse before. I don't think. I probably have, but like somebody that I'm
I
just
was
like,
gonna
yeah,
ask you that too.
yeah,
Is
like
is
somebody that I'm just like, man, I can't stop drawing you. Like I haven't had that yet. I've had I've had women that I'm more shocked that I didn't do that with. Like, dang, like I was really. I'm surprised I didn't draw you all the time with how I was like into
do
you.
you mean like
But
after the relationship ends? Do
I mean,
you
like during
think?
it even. I mean, during it
Okay,
even.
okay.
But even like after, even after, man, that would have been a powerful muse. Like, and I'm always, and I'm hoping that the woman I marry, I'm hoping that like, again, her being a fan of my art, I'm hoping that I want to draw her all the time. Like just on some like, man, like you don't know how you make me feel in that love. I just want to get it all across on paper. Like I would fucking love that.
That's what's up. That's definitely what's up. Well, this how they say this has been one for the books. This was a good
Hell,
one.
I told you I would just flow with it. Like one, I wanna thank you for inviting me on. Like I know we've been kind of talking about this for a minute.
Yes.
But I've been wanting to get back just in front of the camera again a lot more and like talk with people that, I feel like are interesting. And you're definitely one of the most unique and interesting people I've ever met.
Oh my God, I don't know how to take that.
Take it with nothing but the amazingness that it is. So I knew that we'd have a good conversation because every time me and you connect, we have great conversations, and I was like, I already knew this was gonna be good. Look, hold on, what my guy name is? They here for you, Otis. Hold up, you know what I'm talking about? This is an inside joke, y'all, but anybody can't hear from you, Otis. Look,
Ain't
we ain't
nobody
even gonna jump on it
listening to
because
you,
we'll be here for
Otis.
30 more minutes making jokes on it.
Right,
Like. I'm really
right.
thankful to share this.
The tattoo session is a whole day almost because we
Look, we be putting on a real comedy show in there. Y'all missing out. But I'm,
and
I'm
don't
real
let
thankful.
Jared and Gerard be there too.
Oh yeah, it's all of them together. It's a whole. I'll be like, man, I don't know how y'all got nothing done at that house. Y'all had
Right.
to be. It had to be a comedy session every day. I love
Comedy
it.
session all the time. Me
I
and my
love it.
kids always. I don't know. And it's funny too. Someone told me that I should be a comedian.
Oh, for sure. Oh, come on. Yeah, for
But
sure.
the thing with this is just my opinion. I know I may see myself differently, but
Right.
this person's has known me since I was 16 years old.
Mhm.
So I guess she can, really see that in me. But I
Right.
don't feel like I'm a punchline person. I'm just honest, and then people are laughing, and I'm like, but I wasn't
But
joking.
that's the refreshing part. You're so honest, and you're really good at telling stories. That's the thing. So I feel like you like in another life, you like in a parallel dimension from this one, you like probably one of the biggest comedians in the world. I ain't gonna hold you. You just got it. Some people just got it. You got it. You know what I mean?
I find myself just popping junk all the time. And then when I'm by myself, I'll be like, "Dad, I ain't even had to say that." But it's
Yeah.
oh well.
Yeah, we're gonna keep
It,
reminding you.
right. It is what it is. I
Yeah,
said it.
I love it.
But thank you. So tell us what's going on in your present right now. What are you doing as far as Loveless or anything else new that you gonna
Okay,
give to the
so
world?
I'm glad you asked because you finna roll your eyes, but I'm finally finna start dropping the videos with Loveless. Like we're actively making them. So I want people to be introduced to the society. It's hundreds and hundreds of people at this point, and so I want to slowly start bringing those out. We're gonna edit them up nice, let you guys share them. Just my gift to you guys is like thank you for being a part of this. So your episode is gonna definitely be funny. You know what I mean? I already know we're gonna have some good times,
Oh
but
yes, I forgot that me and Jared and Gerard did the little photo shoot. So
mhm. Yep, yep. So we're gonna get all of that on there. So that's the big thing with Loveless right now. I'm updating the website, and I'm trying to make the experience for the tattoos really like amazing. Like so, it's
and
just
get the
all this
merch,
extra.
get the
Yeah,
merch, get the
I'm
merch,
going
get
this
the merch.
I'm going this extra mile when it comes to Loveless, like just kind of reinvigorating the brand a lot. But the main thing I'm doing is the I Hate Healing comic. That's what I'm usually doing. I'm not tattooing these days. Like I
Okay.
went through all of this stuff with healing and just like how like when I want to help like my men a lot, but even like the women, like kind of how you were like listening to some of the stuff, like be able to see the stuff that we do go through and the things that we are battling. And helping usher us to the other side. Like we know we put a lot on women to do to be that, be beside us and stuff like that. But sometimes we just need that little push of like, I believe in you. That's it. Like I believe in you and I believe what you
Y'all
can
need
do.
that. Y'all
And
definitely
have a
need
place
that.
where we can be vulnerable. You know what I'm
Hmm.
saying? Like y'all, like it ain't nothing like a woman that'll just let you get some emotions out and cry a little bit if you need to, and not even be like, "Hey, don't look at you no different type of way. I
No
can see the
different.
strong man you are. You needed to let that out." You know what I'm saying? So I have a gift for making things that are serious, kind of like Loveless with the Loveless Cupid comic. I have a gift for making things that are serious, entertaining, and palatable. And I throw comedy in there, and nice art. So the I Hate Healing comic. I feel like that's my gift to the world. And so right now I'm getting ready to actually print the first little story arc, and so I'm really excited about that because I'm doing something real special for it. I won't even say nothing
You're not gonna say it. We gotta wait. We gotta wait till
just
you
just a little bit. Like I don't want
just
to
a
just
little bit.
reprint. Yeah, I don't want to reprint the comic. I'm adding all this extra stuff to it. That's what I can say. And so when people get the physical version, because obviously you can just read it for free on at I Hate Healing on Instagram. But if you
Hmm.
buy the physical version, you're gonna get so much more. Like you're gonna really, it's a real super deep dive. It's gonna be way funnier. All the stuff that I'm putting in there, like it's gonna be like you're gonna feel my heart going into it. Like trust
Okay.
me, like, it's crazy. Like that's why I got the typewriter. Like because I'm adding like all this. It's a lot. It's a lot. It's a lot. But those are the
So
main
is
things
it gonna be available on your website?
on the
Once
website,
okay.
lovelesssociety.com. It's gonna be
Okay.
available there. And I'm a heavily promoted and stuff like that. Do a lot
Okay.
of behind the scenes stuff with it. So yeah, those are the main things I got going on right now. The interviews, like just kind of making the Loveless brand really just beefing it up again, giving it that
Okay.
new fresh coat of paint, and the I Hate Healing comic. Those are the three things. And being a good dad, I just want to be a good dad. So,
Shout out to Avery.
Avery. Shout
Shout
out to
out.
Avery.
Shout out. Definitely, definitely. So that is your next big thing. The I hate heal. Okay.
Yeah, but I
Oh,
told myself I want to just work on it. I want to be finished with it by the end of the year. Let's see if that happens. But I don't want to be too long on it because I want to get back to the Loveless comic and stuff like that as well. Because I love that story as well. So I just want to get the healing stuff out because it's my like gift to the world. After I came back from Peru doing ayahuasca, man, it made me face so
which
much of
was
my shadow
beautiful.
and my dark self and all the stuff that was buried inside of me. And when I
That
came
was
back, I was
very
like,
beautiful.
yeah, I was like, you don't have a journey like that and not share it with the world. So it's me kind of sharing that we all got these things we need to face, but if we face them, we can have such a great life. And I just want people to know that. So if I can give that to people in a way that's entertaining, and then when the serious parts come up, they like, oh, I felt that. Like that's what I want to do.
Now I'm speaking this into existence, and I've been speaking it into existence for about 10 years. But y'all, when I get my money up, Melvin is going to illustrate my novel.
Oh yeah, for sure. You gotta hold me to it.
It's gonna illustrate my novel. Now, I love everything I'm hearing. Trust and believe. But it sounds like we're not even gonna be able to catch you too much with the tattoo gun. I see that
Yeah,
smile. So does that mean
yeah.
I gotta make an appointment really quick?
Yeah, I'd say do it sooner than later. Like
See? You
because
see? You can
I
tell
do a
I
lot of manifesting too, and I'm probably not gonna be like tattooing as much in the next in 5 to 10 years. Like I feel like I'll have accomplished so much that tattooing will be kind of like almost like a side gig that I kind of just do for people that I care about for real.
Oh, I just about to say you. I know you're gonna
Yeah,
let
I'll
me
tattoo
slide a
you.
bit.
Yeah,
Okay,
I'll tattoo
okay,
you. You know what I
okay.
mean? So it'll be one of the things where now, obviously, I tattoo 5 days a
Cause we
week.
still gotta finish. We gotta finish my
Exactly.
mother. The elephant gotta go over there too on
Yeah,
my leg.
I
So
mean, it's my main occupation now, but I can see, like, especially once the comic gets big and once I'm making cartoons and doing all of this stuff, like, I won't have time to tattoo like I do. And as much as I love tattooing and I love it, love it, love it, love it, again, you go to that, like, what did when I was a kid, what was I passionate about? And it was always like, I
right.
want a cartoon on TV. And so I feel like if I don't accomplish that, or at least do everything I can to make that happen, then I'm not really living in my in my full flow, my full presence and stuff like that. So
Okay.
that's why, even a comic is like a proof of concept, really, where I'm learning how to do different camera angles, make characters, and learn how to tell a story more than anything else. But I love tattooing so much that it's just something that's a part of me at this point. But I do know, like, I can see where I'm like 50 and tattooing is just kind of like my fun thing I do on the side. Like, unfortunately, so you are right. Get it in soon while I'm still doing it a lot, before it's like, well, I mean, it's hard to do it when I'm making,
Yeah,
you
making
know,
cartoons and
50,000 a
so
month. Like,
it's going to definitely be of adult content, correct?
so yeah, the Loveless stuff, but I do want to make stuff for kids too. I'm actually a teacher now. I forgot to say that.
I know, I know.
Yeah,
You
and
see,
so with my
I'm
kids, I can't.
asking you what's going on, and you not
Yeah.
saying nothing. You know,
Oh,
I
look,
know, but
yeah,
the
my
people
bad. Look, I
don't
don't know
know.
how I forgot the kids. Like, yeah, with my kids,
The
I
people
can't.
don't know.
Right. So I'm an anime and art teacher to kids at the Mosaic Arts Academy in Snellville, Georgia, and yeah, my kids are amazing. They're like little art kids, just like I was. Just want to sit down. They got that passion, that drive, and I'm helping them fine tune, make comics and stuff like that. But obviously, if like my comics, they can't look at it. It's funny because
Right,
I hate healing comics. I try not to keep it. I try not to make it too raunchy. So I've been able to
right.
show them some of those, just like this is how we do like make a comic. But I want to make a kids comic because I got attracted to cartoons and stuff when I was a kid. So I want to definitely make something for them. So I already got an idea. I'm actually plotting it out now. The thing is, while I'm doing that, I'm doing it kind of slow because I want to get the I Hate Healing comic out. But
Okay,
that will be coming out too. And so I got to keep, as of right now, I'm keeping the name secret and stuff like that. But once it starts popping off, eventually people will be able to be like, hey, Loveless Melvin finally made something that kids can look at. So that is in the pipeline too. And it's a really great story. I can't wait to make it.
well, I'm eager for it as well. But
Mhm.
I'm about to tell on myself. I guess my age now with cartoons back in the day. It
Right.
used to be a book that
Yeah.
they flipped when they moved the
Oh yeah.
characters. Do they still do that?
Nah. They do. You can draw on an iPad or on your phone if you want to. They just
Okay.
yeah. They ain't flipping it no more.
No, 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 look, I don't went way back. Some people that hear this part gonna be like, "What?"
Yeah.
Google it. I'm telling
Google it.
you, y'all go ahead and Google it.
Look, it's called a flip book. I used to do it back
Yes,
in
a
the
flip
day.
book. Cartoons used to be, and you can see the character moving as they flipping the pages.
Yeah.
I know a
Yeah.
little something.
Right. Right.
So tell everybody where you can be found on your social media handles and everything, and
Right.
where they can find you.
So my main social media is Loveless Melvin. You can find me on Instagram. I got a Twitter. I don't be using it that much, but if you type in Loveless Melvin, you'll probably find me on several different things. On Instagram, the Loveless Society, like THE Loveless
Mhm.
Society, because somebody's just sitting on Loveless Society for some reason. I don't know why.
Girl,
Instagram won't let me get it, but so the
my
Loveless
Instagram.
Society. And I Hate Healing. That's how you can tap into that comic as well. And Loveless Cupid on Instagram as well. That's how you can read the Loveless Cupid comic strip, which I'll be continuing once I'm done with the I Hate Healing comic. And you can always catch me at lovelesssociety.com. I've actually just made the transition on Loveless Society to not just talk about Loveless stuff, but just me as a
Mhm.
tattoo artist as well. Like, I'm behind the brand. So it's like I'm trying to incorporate, I guess, just the whole like Loveless everything. I Hate Healing is included in that and everything, like just under the same umbrella. So, the
Okay.
thing that started it, lovelesssociety.com, you'll always be in the know of what's going on.
All right. So let's y'all got to get over there. Now I'm not gonna be a hater. Y'all don't go over there too much because I gotta keep me a slot. So I gotta keep a
Right,
slot. So the title of this is Let's See If Melvin Is Really Loveless.
right.
And from what you all heard, he has a lot of love.
A lot
He
of love.
walks in the light.
Right.
That Melvin, my boy, I call him Melly Mel.
You do.
Love me some Melvin. I'm greatly appreciative of this time. Because we did talk about walking in your truth. And I'm not gonna lie, I feel like I lack that because my main thing was being a single parent. So I was one of those that
Mhm.
was like, go to work, you gotta get this, you gotta get that. And now all three of them are grown. And no, I'm not what you would call happy as far
Right.
as what I'm doing every day.
Right.
But when I'm in that kitchen making soap, soap turned into hair
Mhm.
products. Somebody, one of DJ Academics people, asked me to make deodorant.
Yep. That's how it
Like,
works. Things just
he
start lining up once you
just
start
just
walking in that path. Yeah.
just lining up. And I said, hell yeah, I'm gonna make that deodorant. And when I give it to you, you slide a tube over there to DJ.
I love it. I love it.
so so yeah, and I've told my children that same thing. Of course, you have to a way to, keep the lights on, this, that, and the other. But don't look around and be 40 and 50 and be like you wasted a lot of time.
Exactly. Exactly.
That's that was like my main thing as a parent.
Right.
Like the main thing. The main thing. So I definitely hear you. It is well received. Jared is actually waiting for the interview, so I know he is definitely gonna be looking. And he was like, "Ma, that's dope." He said, "What y'all gonna be talking about?" Well, I don't
Right.
know if you want to hear your mother talk about it, but I'm gonna talk.
We kept it pretty entertaining, and we didn't throw them under the bus because we
Yeah,
could.
yeah, yeah. We ain't throw nobody under the bus. If you want to hear some bugged out conversations, you have to sit in on one of the appointments. Because me
Right.
and my sons don't have good sense. And
Yeah.
me
I
and my
love
daughter
those
are 2 days
dudes.
apart.
They so
Right.
funny, man. They are too funny.
Two. And matter of fact, you tattooed Jared and Gerard on their 18th birthday.
Ah, you're right. You're
Yeah.
right. Yeah. Man, I love it. I
First
love it.
tattoo. Yeah.
Yeah,
On
you're
their
right.
18th birthday.
Yep. Yep.
Gerard has the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. He has his daughter. Jared has his daughter. Jared has one of himself with the
Yeah.
Celtics jersey.
Yep.
Me
Yep.
and Jared have my mother.
I love it. I love it.
Yes, yes, yes. Now let me ask you this: do you have a Loveless family? Because we seem to be the Loveless family.
Um, man. I mean, with y'all being like the first, y'all might be. There's probably a few now, but y'all was the
Okay, but
first.
but we might be the first.
Oh no, y'all were the first for sure.
Oh,
For sure the first. For sure the
you
first.
got you got
Because
to hear you.
remember how hype I was that day. Like,
Yeah,
can't hide that. You know what I'm saying?
you heard it here first.
Hmm.
We was first.
Right. Right.
We was first. We was definitely first. But yes, we gonna let Melvin be Melvin. Get out there and Melvin be Melvin.
Right. Mel's gonna go pick up his kids. That's all.
Melvin gonna pick up his kids. But this is Miss Me with the BS, aka Lena Love Lather. In the closing, y'all gonna see some pictures. I'm gonna also have my own website on there. Get that soap, get tattoos. We out here doing it. Peace. All right. Do it say it's stop. Y'all, hold on.
Yeah.